Welcome to the Indie Corner After Dark. We're not only talking all things independent comics, but everything comics. I'm Mikey.
I'm Rebecca.
And today, people, are back at again another episode of the Indie Corner After Dark, episode number 52 of the Indie Corner After Dark podcast. And as you can see from the thumbnail and the title, we are going to be doing our long-awaited review of the highly anticipated DC Studios film, Supergirl. Supergirl, with Milly Alcock, Jason Momoa, and is going to, I believe, is directed by Craig Gillespie of Cruella fame, I think, Rebecca?
I don't know if you can call it fame. I liked Cruella, but I don't know if it would be getting me jobs.
I also liked Cruella as well. But that's what I was surprised when they chose him to direct it. I was like, him? Really? But then when you see with the promo, the aesthetic they went for, I was like, okay, it kind of works a little bit. Because Cruella was kind of edgy a little bit. They give a little bit of edge in this for good or for worse. Yeah, people, yeah. So we're gonna be doing our Supergirl review real quick. As you can see from the title of the video, it's a spoiler review straight up. It took a while to get this podcast. There's some things that came up, and also I had a power outage last week due to a storm. So
yeah, if you haven't seen it by now, you're not going to. So spoilers ahead.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, we're just gonna go straight into it. As always, Rebecca, thanks again for joining me. I appreciate you as always. I figured it would be weird if we didn't have this without you because you're a blonde Supergirl. So it makes sense.
That was the trailer review.
I know, we did the trailer review together. So it just felt right. It felt right. So we'll get right into it. Well, first things first, people, due diligence. If you have been rocking with us for a while, we appreciate you as always. But if you're just finding us, please, like and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you know when we're dropping new stuff. And again, if you've seen the movie, let us know what you think. If what you like, dislike, blah blah blah, yada yada. So we'll just get right into it. So without further ado, I'll just give a warning again, spoiler review of RIP. So we're just gonna get into it. So if you haven't watched the movie yet, go get your ticket or wait till it's gonna drop on VOD soon. As I have here, so please, go watch the movie first, and then we'll be going into spoilers in 3, 2, 1. All right, spoilers, and then just real quick drop a clues bomb because that's just a good indicator. So now we're spoilers real quick. All right, Rebecca. Well, just for starters, what were you expecting going into the movie? What were you expecting going into the movie? Were you excited? Did you have any, how was the bar for you for this movie? Just before we get into it.
I guess going into the movie, my only expectation was this was going to be more or less a straightforward adaptation of Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow with Lobo there.
Mm-hmm.
And for the most part, at least at an overview level, I think that's what we got. More to say on that maybe a little bit later.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't have a ton of expectations. I haven't really read a ton of Supergirl outside of that comic, so I was more curious to see how faithful they were and what they did with the character that might be different.
I got you. Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat. Obviously I like a Supergirl character. My biggest remnants of Supergirl was the animated Justice League Unlimited. I loved her in Justice League Unlimited a lot growing up. Read some Supergirl comics, especially with Michael Turner. Rest in peace, Michael Turner, amazing artist. And also loved her in Smallville. Remember her in the CW era. So I have my Supergirl knowledge is all right. With Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, though, the critically acclaimed series by Tom King and Bill Evely. I've been told to read that book for years now, and I still haven't read it. But I do understand how I always hear great things, especially from shout out to Maddie. She's been telling me to read that book for a long time. She loves that book. Seamus as well has been giving that book praises as well. But I wanted to actually read it before watching the book. I wanted to read before watching the movie. But I figured, I wanted to watch this as blind as possible. I feel like if I read the book, it would give me more unrealistic expectations. So I needed the bar to be in the middle, which that's what I was aiming for watching the movie. I was aiming for the middle. But what I did like the fact that they decided to add Jason Momoa as Lobo in this. Obviously, that's the role that he was born to play. Goddammit, for over a decade now at this point. So yeah, and then so that was me going into it. My expectations were pretty much in the middle. I wanted to go this completely blind, which I did, and I watched it. We watched it, and we'll get into it. So yeah, just started off, Rebecca. We'll just go into. You want to do positive or negatives first? What do you want to do?
I'm fine with either. Do you want to be a hater first or a lover?
Shit. Let's do positive. We'll do positive, do negatives after. All right. So just overall in terms of story, what were some of the positives that you want to talk about real quick?
I thought the acting was decent. I believe everyone was their characters. I liked when Supergirl got to actually do stuff and beat people up.
Yeah.
Which is kind of a backhanded compliment.
Okay.
I think largely the movie is fine. It's also been however long since it came out, so not everything's as fresh in my brain.
Yeah.
I think people were a little harsh on this movie. I think it's a perfectly fine movie. I think it had more potential to be great that it didn't quite reach, but I think it was entertaining. And like I said, just fun to watch Supergirl go around and do stuff.
Yeah, for sure. I'd say for me as well, I also agree with you. I think the movie it's in the middle for me. It maybe a little more than just mid, slightly more than just mid for me. I thought the acting was really good. I thought the action for the most part was really fun and creative. Nothing too special, but I thought the action was pretty entertaining. I know there was that one fight on the space bus. I loved it a lot. The fight where where the techno pirates come in and try to hijack the bus, and then they start teleporting and stuff everywhere. A lot of teleporting
that was a fun fight.
To the lead up to her going to Yellow Sun and getting her powers, and then her wrecking shop. Love that. I like the fight with the fight on the planet where the main antagonists were going to get their quote unquote wives, because when sex trafficking is a big part of this book this part of this story, which is crazy in terms of the villains. That fight I thought was awesome, especially when we get to see Lobo do his thing. Oh lord. But yeah, for the most part, I thought the action was entertaining. The story, for the most part, again, because I haven't read the book, so I thought the story was interesting. Definitely due to the fact that when we get into characters like Krypto, I've kind of felt let down that Krypto wasn't very active in the story, but was a big motivator for Supergirl's arc.
Man, it's a dog. What do you want him to do?
I know, but but Krypto was such a big part of Superman. I was expecting a little bit about some of the same.
Yeah, the same Krypto movie. You can wait for your own spin-off.
That's true. That's true. But yeah. But I'm trying to think what else. Maybe also it's not as fresh in my mind, so I can't think of other things that are positive.
I swear I don't hate this movie. I just don't remember.
I don't either. I don't think the movie's that bad. Which is I don't. Which is it is what it is. I'm trying to think of other things to say, but I'm just it was fine,
Yeah, I think the standout for me is the acting from, oh my god, what's her name? Who plays Supergirl?
Milly Alcock?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think she does a good job hitting all the emotional beats that she needs to. I think she does a good job portraying the fun, when cars are out to be fun and lighthearted, she can do that. And then when she needs to be sad, I think she hits all her beats well.
Yeah. I will also say, we'll probably get into it when we go to her character, but I did like how I'll say this, right. Overall, as a movie, they could have. I mean, obviously, we kind of got a hint of this because of the marketing material, because the fact that they're trying to make this one more edgier than Superman. Obviously, Superman was more about hope. Hope and just doing the right thing. This one is like Supergirl's a little rough around the edges. Is a lot more morally gray. Not really just good versus evil, black and white. Like it's morally gray, and I like that, especially because she's definitely more of a flawed character. And isn't perfect, which I agree, but she isn't perfect, but she still has a good heart, just like her cousin. Maybe a little less naive, but yeah, I did like the fact that they actively tried their way to be like, okay, this is still like a super family kind of story, but we're gonna try our best to aesthetically, in terms of the needle drops, in terms of the action, and just the overall plot, the storyline, that this is gonna be Supergirl's gonna be her own thing. Yeah, she's connected to Clark, but like they try to use Clark kind of as a big launching point to make her stand on her own, which I really liked. And this was more of a it was nice to have, we did get some flashbacks of Earth, but like especially when we do see Superman show up in flashbacks and stuff. But I did like the fact that like Superman, because Clark is from Earth, is a protector of Earth, sticking to Earth. Here we're gonna go to multiple planets, or we're gonna see different types of aliens, and just and things are gonna get a little bit more violent. Like I really like that aspect of this movie a lot. Do you have any favorite just moments that stood out to you real quick? I have one that I was like, ooh, that caught me off guard. I was like, ooh, when she goes on the final planet to go after Krem and his crew, and we went to that planet with those two suns, the green sun. That caught me up. I was like, ooh, that's interesting, because I forgot that like green suns pretty much act like kryptonite to Kryptonians. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah. It's the same color. She's just weak to green.
I know, but it's kind of like, but like it's like green radiate, because like I looked it up and I was like, apparently like a green sun pretty much is a sun that got like pretty much like kryptonite shards from like Krypton exploding. So like that's why they become green suns, and and it works the same way as kryptonite. But yeah, I was like, ooh, that's interesting. And then was that in the comic, Rebecca? Do you remember?
Man, it's been like a year plus since I read that. I think there was something like that, but I don't quite remember.
Okay, fair enough. But yeah, that was something that stood out to me. I was like, that was interesting. I was like, that's like James Gunn did his homework. Not James Gunn, but like the writers did his homework. Even though just to clarify, this is a James Gunn production, but he didn't direct and write this film. Just because a lot of people were just saying that. People were like, oh, it's James Gunn, but people were blaming James Gunn for stuff. He's even though he's a producer, he has a hand in creative, but like he's not directing and writing this film. Like so like
this movie felt very like it was trying to be like Guardians almost.
It felt very Guardians. Yeah. It felt very Guardians. Any moments, Rebecca, that stood out to you that you want to mention?
I like the Krypton stuff. I wish we got more of it, and I wish we got to see a little more of her life, like having friends and like actually getting to grow up there amidst like a little more good amidst the bad, so it like hits harder when it fully hits you that she lost like everything. But that's more of like a nitpick. Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, so I think I'm good for now. We're gonna go back to what we liked and what we didn't, what we liked with the character breakdowns. But anything else you want to say before we go into the negatives, Rebecca?
I think I'm good for now. Again, right. I did like this movie. I just can't think of a lot of specific things.
Yeah, I think things will definitely click for us when we'll get to the negative. Well, we'll get to the character breakdown for sure. I'm pretty sure. But all right, yeah. So we'll go to negatives, Rebecca. Well, so ladies first. What were some issues that you want to bring up with this movie?
The one that stands out, and I talked about this in the group chat, is I think Jason Momoa, kind of born to play Lobo, does a great job, but it felt very like diminishing returns to me with him on the screen. Like at first I was like, oh cool, Jason Momoa Lobo, him in that fight, sure. Every time he shows up after that, I felt like they're like jangling keys in front of me like I'm a toddler. Like I got kind of sick of seeing him throughout the movie.
Interesting.
And that's nothing against him. It's just how he's used in the movie. Because spoiler alert, why is Supergirl being saved by like fucking Lobo in the Supergirl movie? You know,
fair. I feel like in that sense it should have been the other way around. You know, but granted, like, but it's Lobo though. Like Lobo just does whatever he wants.
I feel like if they're gonna have him in the like finale, like the climax of the movie, just bring him in the end and have him like give the girls back a ride to their planet or whatever, you know? Like he doesn't need to be in the final fight, and he doesn't need to be like the Deus Ex Machina of that. If that moment belonged to anyone, it should have gone to like Ruthye, like saving Supergirl.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair. With me, I'll say to start off, one of the things where it's like, okay, I didn't read the comic, but and I feel like I heard from a lot of people that the comic was even shout again in the chat, because I didn't read all of it, but I glossed over it. That this felt like kind of like a more like a neutered version of the storyline. Like they kind of cut a lot back. And I kind of felt that with this movie, even without reading the comic. I was like, I wanted a little more from this movie. Like, there's something missing.
Yeah, I feel like the comic does a better. I mean, obviously, working with the comic versus like the looser adaptation of it. The book, I definitely feel, is like a stronger story than this.
But yeah, it's just like, I don't know, I just feel like there's something missing. Also, there was just some parts. I think the main storyline, and I feel like a part of it is with the way the villains are treated, just wasn't that interesting for me. Like, it just felt like the typical run-of-the-mill kind of like adventure storyline. I just wanted something else with it, you know?
Like you want her fighting like Brainiac or some shit?
Yeah, I couldn't take the villains like as a real threat.
I mean, I don't think you're meant to, I mean, it's the villain in the comic too. It's not meant to be like big comic book super villain like type thing. Like, it is kind of a nobody, but it works in the context of the story because it's not so much about like Supergirl as it is with Ruthye. Like, it is about Supergirl, but it's not, you know?
Yeah. Did you feel like Ruthye kind of overshadowed Supergirl a little bit?
No, I wouldn't say that. I mean more like in terms of like, this is Ruthie's like fight. Supergirl's just trying to like show her something along the way, you know? Like, we're learning the lesson through like Ruthye. Yeah.
Ruthye is kind of just well,
she's the audience conduit.
She's the audience conduit, and she's kind of a plot device. But like, and the thing is like, we'll probably get into Ruthye, but yeah, it's just like, someone just didn't. It didn't hit as hard for me as like Superman hit for me, you know? Because even when Superman had its problems, it felt like a complete story to me from beginning to end. But when I watched this, I was like, there's something else I needed, you know? I wanted a little more.
Yeah, it's while we're talking about the comic, and I feel like this hit more like, I didn't reread the book. I read like the first chapter because that was all that was in the free preview I had from my library. But I did miss the colors in here. The comic is very colorful. This is more, there's some color in it, but it's more that like typical movie like gritty. I don't know if gritty is the right word, but like flatness. And I think if they leaned more into like a brighter color palette, that would have made the world feel a little bit more comparable to the comic. I don't really know what I'm saying, but
I got you. Yeah, because that kind of happens, you know, at times, because like, if y'all haven't checked out Supergirl One of Tomorrow, I know there's a compact edition you can buy for like $10 in the shops. But Bilquis Evely draws the fuck out of that book. Like it's very hyper detailed, and also I forget who does the coloring on that book, but the colors are very like are very well saturated, and just like it like the book, like the artwork really makes the story really come alive, and I feel like that's very hard to translate from seeing Bilquis Evely's artwork and how she interprets like all the characters and the different alien worlds, and just like even when Supergirl's like in space, it's in the cosmos. You know what I mean? Like it's just like very beautiful stuff. Kind of translating that to like a film, especially when it's like a James Gunn film, and sometimes James Gunn films can not be as bright as colorful. Sometimes I know that was an issue with like Superman, where it was
I feel like we gotta decide if we're gonna call this a James Gunn film or not.
I know, but like, but sometimes it's hard to translate that stuff to the screen, So yeah, I feel you on that. Like it just didn't. Sometimes
I wish the color grading was closer to Superman than how it is here.
Yeah, and I feel like the visuals in this movie, even though some of them are really good, some of them not so good, doesn't really do the book justice, unfortunately. We'll probably have more negatives and shit to
talk about. I have one more I need to talk about. Also talked about this in our group chat. I feel like in this movie, Supergirl is a little too underpowered at times, and I understand functionally if you have full strength. Well, A, she's supposed to be underpowered for plot reasons, and B, like you can't have her full power because otherwise she's sweeping everyone immediately.
Yeah, then she can end the whole movie in like a few punches,
Yeah, but I still would have liked to see her more in her element in some of the fights, especially at the end. She's dealing with the Green Sun, heals from that, and then immediately she gets hit by like the kryptonite arrows and she's weak again. It's like, man, you can pick one or the other. We can't be doing both.
But I feel like when at the same time, even though I did notice that a lot too, but even in Superman, I feel like with Superman, especially coming off of like Henry Cavill with Man of Steel and BVS and Justice League, like we got to see Superman to get hit a lot, and I felt like it worked well in that movie because the point of one of the big themes of Superman was like getting knocked down but always getting back up. I thought it hit really well in that movie. But when they do it here, and knowing that like Kara is a lot more like how Supergirl is, especially like the New 52 and like the more recent comics, Moon of Tomorrow, she's a lot angrier than Clark is because she's dealt with more trauma in her life than Clark has. Like seeing her get knocked down all the time, getting needless punishment. I was like, come on, when you know that she can do better than that. Like, come on now. But yeah, I feel you on that. It also did bother me just seeing her just get kryptonited and just depowered and stuff all the time.
I want to see her kick a little more ass in the movie. I know she can do it. We all know she can do it.
I mean, there was a few ass kicking moments throughout the movie, but they saved a lot of the ass kicking towards the end, and I was like, yeah, they could have done a little more throughout the course of the movie. So that's all I got for now. I'll probably have more stuff when it comes to characters. You ready to move on to characters, Rebecca?
Yep.
All right. So moving on to characters, and obviously the first character that we'll talk about, obviously it's the main character, and as well as the Krypto, but it's Supergirl, Kara Zor-El, Supergirl, played by Milly Alcock and Krypto. I'll say this real quick. This is pretty much, I feel like everyone can agree with this, but I thought Milly Alcock did a great job. I thought she did a phenomenal job. But even though the bar was low, because outside of the CW show, there's only one other Supergirl live action film performance, which was I think that movie came out the 1980s?
I think 90s.
Was it the 90s?
Oh.
I've never seen it. So
I've never seen it either. I heard it's really bad.
Yeah. 1984 Supergirl. That was Supergirl. That was based off. I thought that spun off the Christopher Reeves Superman. The bar was pretty low. And I thought she did a really good job. One of the best parts about the movie, to me, in my opinion, was how she differed from Clark. Again, like I said before, how flawed she was as a character. She wasn't perfect. And again, she's more Clark is more. Again, they really focus on the idea that Clark is even though Clark has a good heart, is a kind of a symbol for hope, but he also sees things as black and white a lot, and not really gray. Like he sees things as good and bad, good and bad, good versus evil, but doesn't really see a lot of things in gray. And he's very naive at times, because he's a Boy Scout. But with this, they kind of play the fact that Kara. And I love that line where she's talking to Evie. Sorry, we're talking to Ruthye. And that line that was in the trailer as well, where she said, Superman sees the good in everybody. I see the truth. Like I love that line, because what she's been through the trauma of her losing, her family and her home world, and how that affected her, and the reason why she's just angry, and that's why she is coping with alcohol and all that stuff. And it really made me love her as a character in terms of she is kind of more realistic in terms of someone dealing with trauma and struggles like that, which is why I love that she killed Krem. I loved it. I was like, that made sense, and it was very satisfying when it happened. I didn't think she'd do it. So
yeah, I believe in the comic that does not happen.
Yeah.
But I was gonna say I really like. I already said I like the Krypton stuff. But within that, when her mom's telling her to be good, I like how that kind of connects to her. It's not always easy for her to be good. She doesn't always want to, but at the end, it's a struggle for her. And at the end of the day, she's still choosing to be good because that's honoring her people's legacy in a way.
Yeah, exactly. Her people's legacy, and also kind of shows how much of an influence Clark has had on her, because Clark is always good. I really liked that a lot. Yeah, her and her mom, and Zor-El, her father, is always telling her, listen, no matter what it is, no matter what you go through, always try to be good, no matter how you have to get there. I really like that a lot. And I love the flashback stuff too, because I don't know if you remember when we did Superman last year. I really wanted to see because the whole idea of the Superman's harem, right? The fact that Superman was allegedly sent to Earth to conquer it, again fighting for Invincible.
I still don't like that decision. They half jokingly doubled down on it that was just Kara's weird conservative uncle, I guess.
Yeah, that was one of the parts I didn't like, was the fact that oh yeah, no, Superman was sent to Earth to conquer it. Jor-El and Laura-El were yep, you're gonna have a harem. I was
in this film, it's kind of just they were outsiders, one-offs doing that, I guess, but still there. Still hate it.
It was that moment where Krypton is falling, is being destroyed, and they see, and then Kara's parents, Zor-El, and I'm forgetting her mother's name. I forget what else she is, but they see the pod and said, "Oh, look, that's the apparent that's Zor-El and Laura-El's apparent destroyer of worlds." I was like, no, because I was really hoping that the message, even though Lex Luthor said it was real, that it wasn't, and that they were going to clarify what Clark was actually sent for, which I was hopefully for the right reasons in Supergirl with the flashbacks. But nope, he's still a conqueror of worlds. Fuck. But again, I understand why they did that, because it shows that the whole thing with Superman was a parent's job isn't supposed to tell you what to do or how to live your life. We just guide you to, we just raise you to be the person you be, guide you as best we can, but you only have to decide who you want to be, which I understand that's what the message was for. Still don't like it though. I like the L's to be the only. I like the L's, including Kara's family, parents, to be the only good Kryptonians amongst all the shitty Kryptonians, right?
Were they shitty though? I think it was more just. I mean, the planet was falling apart, so that part wasn't great.
but also they told the entire committee of Krypton, hey, this shit is happening, we gotta brace ourselves. They just didn't listen. So again, they're responsible for their own demise, because Krypton's a very classist society.
I'm glad that doesn't happen in the real world.
Yeah, right. But yeah, and I love, just to move on with Kara, talk about Kara, but I also love the fact Krypto was, and even though I wanted to see more Krypto in this, like how we did in Superman, but it made sense why because Krypto gets poisoned by Krem, and that's what causes her to go after Krem in the first place. That's how she gets entangled with Ruthye, because he needs to get the antidote that Krem has on his person to save Krypto. So like it made sense that like, oh yeah, like Krypto is gonna be the reason why she goes out there. Then when we get those flashbacks to the real, like Krypto, like how she met Krypto on the streets of Argyle, and that's kind of like Krypto's like kind of her little piece of home, of her people, of her homeland, of her parents, which is why she cares for him so much, and why she's so adamant to go on this this girl's revenge fantasy to try to save him. I thought that was great, you know, and yeah, like, and yeah, it was like, but granted, like, but also there were moments where I was like, like some of the stuff with her arc, like, you know, when she tries to save that when those was it on that other world with those two those two, like that husband and wife that sold their daughter to Krem and tried to sell her, Kara and Ruthye, out to
I don't think they sold their daughter. I think their daughter was taken and they were selling out Kara to get her back.
Yeah, selling out Kara to get her back. Yeah, like when that girl was killed anyway, I was like, that, and their parents, I was like, that's wild. I didn't like that, especially because they were black. I was like, that's no. But yeah, I'm trying to think of other things that is like, again, like, but the movie did feel like something was missing, even though I thought the final fight was pretty solid. Although I thought the needle drop was awful. Oh my god.
Yeah, I was talking to, not to get too off topic, I was talking to one of my friends about that.
Yeah.
And we said if it had happened like after the fight and it was just like playing in the background, sure. Definitely a weird choice for like a fight needle drop though. Yeah,
no disrespect for the artist. I remember like I saw a post of like the actual like singer of that song, being thankful for the opportunity, even though there's people criticizing that needle drop specifically. But I just felt like it wasn't the right needle drop, it wasn't the right song for that moment. I thought they were gonna do the Blondie song they were using for the promo. I felt like that song that they used for like the trailers and stuff was the right song to use for that final action shot where she like wrecked shop.
I'm still not sure about that, but either way, weird choice.
Yeah, but overall, when it comes to Kara as a character, I liked her character a lot. And then, like, you know, and I love how at the end of the movie, her arc, where she, you know, she says goodbye to Ruthye. After she kills Krem again, which I love that she kills Krem, because I love the fact that she didn't want Ruthye to be the one to kill him, because she knew that that Ruthye killing him would pretty much take away her soul. It would change her life forever in a negative light. But because she's already seen so much loss, she's been through so much trauma, she was willing to bear. She was willing to bear the cost of Ruthye's. She was willing to bear that cost anyway, because she's been through so much that Ruthye could, you know, stay, you know, innocent. I thought that was great. And then she still tries to be good after that when she gets back home to Earth, and like the big arc that she also had was the fact that like she was still looking for, she felt that she had no home and couldn't really call Earth her home because she didn't adjust the way Clark did. Like she didn't ways on Earth like Clark was, and just didn't feel the same. But like the fact, like after going through this arc, she felt right to finally call Earth her home and to kind of accept her situation with Clark. I thought that was great. Yeah.
I like the that she takes the burden off of Ruthye. I still wish she didn't kill the villain, but I think it's more justified here in the movie that she does do it. I don't like my super people killing people, but that's just me.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not like, I mean, here I feel like in terms of
I believe more that Supergirl would kill than Superman, so I'll give him
this. Yeah. It's not like it's like again, it's not like Zack Snyder making Superman snap necks, you know, like that. Yeah. That's clearly different. And yeah, so that's all. I mean, that's all I gotta say on Supergirl for right now. I mean, with Krypto again, he's a plot device in this movie. So
yeah,
I don't really have to say much.
I liked how he was incorporated in the backstory. Other than that, he's a dog. You know, yeah. What do you really say?
I just thought it was very sweet, like when during the flashbacks during her mom's funeral, where she fought, where she encounters Krypto, like where she finds him. I thought that was very sweet and very cute.
Yeah.
And the fact that like Krypto is along with, because I remember she carries that, what was it, a watch? I think it was like a stopwatch, like a clock or something like that. That is she has a picture of Krypto in there because the clock, the stopwatch, the Kryptonian watch being a remnant of her homeworld, as well as Krypto being also a remnant of her homeworld. Oh, that was great. Also had to remind myself that like I thought that I always get like the city of Argol and the bottled city of Kandor confused a lot. So I like that to be reminded, like, well, oh yeah, Supergirl's from Argol, not Kandor. Because people that don't know, the bottled city of Kandor is a piece of Krypton that Brainiac came and stole and bottled in his collection of like worlds. So it's like literally like a miniature version of this Kryptonian city in a bottle that Brainiac carries. Also thought it was interesting the fact, because we're always used to Supergirl comics in the canon, and also in various adaptations. Supergirl was already born and like grown up on Krypton, and Clark was born, and so she was there to see the fall of Krypton, right? And Clark was sent off during the fall of Krypton, so she's always the older cousin in this. But in this one they changed it, and so when Argol was just a floating city out in space in the remnants of Krypton, she was born on Argol. So so they changed it up and made her the younger cousin in this. And I was like, technically speaking. And I was like, that's a choice. So when she gets sent off, like, because usually like in the comics, she gets sent off at the same time Clark does, and she gets caught in like a wormhole or like the phantom zone, depending on the story, and she gets stuck there, and Clark lands on Earth. Clark lands on Earth, and once she gets out of the black hole, the Phantom Zone, she ends up at Earth like 20 to 30 years later, still as a teenager. So while Clark is an adult, so I thought that was an interesting choice. I mean, it's like a nitpick. Like I didn't really care as much.
It doesn't really affect anything story wise, so I don't really care too much about that. Yeah,
but overall, story, even though some of the writing and stuff was a little off, and I feel like there was something missing throughout the course of the whole movie. I thought Milly Alcock did a great job, and I'm really looking forward to seeing her again, because people were giving her fucking hate for no reason. Like I thought it was bullshit.
It's just the usual comic book movie misogyny.
Yeah, man. Also like it's one where shout out to not shout, but like fuck you to the irrelevant Superman, Dean Cain, for posting a Neanderthal, like it was an image of like a Neanderthal lady.
Yeah, don't even give them attention.
Yeah, it was just like fuck you, that. Like we're like y'all are on some shit thinking that this Milly Alcock isn't attractive. What are we talking about? Like we have eyes, bro. But yeah, so other than that, love her. Even though Krypto was in a little bit, love Krypto as always. He's always the bestest boy. So yeah. All right. So are you good, Rebecca? You want to move on to the next character?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right. So next character is the supporting character, the partner in crime, Ruthye, played by Eve Ridley. And from what I could look up, Eve Ridley is kind of she's a young child actress, but like she hasn't really been in much. So like this is actually her first big movie role. And I'm not gonna lie, Rebecca, she annoyed the shit out of me for the first half of the movie. I could not stand this girl.
Really?
Oh my god. Yeah, I could not.
I thought she was pretty standard, like, child actor. I thought she did fine. I don't really have too much to say about her. I do feel like you lose out some of the character because in the comic you have narration from her, and it's like told from like her point of view.
Her point of view. Mm-hmm.
And obviously you can't really do that the same way in this movie, so you lose a little bit. But for what she was given, I thought she did fine.
Yeah, it's not the actress. It's not Eve Ridley's fault. I think I'm just tired of just kids doing dumb shit in movies, bro. Like I just really am. Like I'm on that fuck them kids kind of timing.
You're past the child sidekick.
Yeah, cause she always like, even though, okay, I understand. Like I thought her intro was interesting. The fact that Krem killed her entire family, that she tries to be naive and childish and go after Krem to avenge her family, though she can't really do that, which is why she hires Supergirl pretty much. But
side note on that, I hate the inciting incident where it's like her dumbass fucking brother like popping out, and that's what like gets the whole family murked. Like,
yeah, it was the brother's fault.
I did not like that.
Which was crazy. Yeah, I didn't like that either. But yeah, like she always put herself in harm's way. When Supergirl, when they had the attack on that home world where the aliens where the wives were, and Supergirl was using, so it was like saving the wives and returning them to their families, and then chaos was breaking down. Like, you know, she was wrecking shop. She told Evie stay there. Evie put herself in harm's way and got herself fucking kidnapped. And I was like, God, like I just can't stand these kids, bro. Those are dumb shit. They don't listen. I know they gotta like it's utilized for the plot. I was like, come on. But when they had more of a heart to heart, especially when she was taking care of Supergirl on the Krem homeworld with the yellow with the green sun, and they were having more heartfelt moments with each other. I really enjoyed that. Even her during the final fight, Supergirl protecting her. You know, again, like her again trying to kill Krem, but then Supergirl telling her not to, and then Supergirl carrying the burden for her. It really made me grow. It Ruthye grew on me during the second half of the movie, and I really liked her character. I don't want to see her again, but like, you know,
you're not gonna.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, we're not gonna. But yeah, I really, her character really grew on me during the second half for sure. And also I was kind of bummed out that like, I mean, this is like, that like she just looked like a regular human. Like, doesn't she look more like? Doesn't she have like orange skin and like? She's got
like a weird hat in the comics, but it's not like, she's still pretty human. So, you know.
Is she? Yeah, I thought she had like orange or like pink skin and like tribal
I think it's like more pinkish, but she still looks like human for the most part.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I wish they made her like a teeny bit more alien.
A little more alien.
Yeah. You know. Again, I also find it very unrealistic when I just see other humanoid-looking people, aliens, in stories like this. Like I mean, obviously, like Kryptonians
unless you paint them white and give them like a space cigar or whatever, right?
Yeah, Kryptonians are an exception, obviously, but like I wish like she looked a little like a teeny bit more alien to me. You know, like I don't want to see another Starfire Titan situation, even though like Anna Diop, fine as hell, beautiful actress, but like I wish she like, you know, looked a tad more alien. But it is what it is. But yeah, but on that, I thought her character was annoying, but grew on me during the second half. And yeah, I thought Eve, for the most part, as a child actress, she was fine. I mean, like the performance didn't really blow me away, you know. I will say this though, also thought her dynamic with Lobo when they were in prison was hilarious, and I thought that was really funny. And how Lobo like loved the fact that like, this girl don't go like he loved how violent she could be at times. And I was like, that's such a Lobo thing to fucking say.
Their dynamic was fun.
Yeah. So yeah, that's all I gotta say. Ruthye was an interesting. Was fine. She served her purpose. But I hope this works out for the actress. I mean, you know, hope she gets more work. That's all I gotta say. Anything you want to say, Rebecca, on Ruthye?
That's it.
All right. So moving on to the main man, Lobo, played by Jason Momoa. I know you said your piece on Lobo a little bit. I'm gonna say mine. I know people complain that like Lobo kind of like, you know, overstayed his welcome. Me personally, I loved every second of Lobo. I thought I had so much fun with him. I thought Jason Momoa did a great job with what he was given. Thought his action scenes were awesome, especially when he uses the bike, when he uses the chains. That was sick. I thought his action scene in the second, during the third act, was like not as impressive, but I just love seeing him. I just love seeing him. I love how he said frag. I love how he said bastich. I loved it. However, my only gripe with Lobo, right, Rebecca? Mm-hmm. You want to take a guess on what my only gripe with Lobo was?
He wasn't in it enough for you.
Well, that, but like, my biggest issue with Lobo, it's a small nitpick, but my biggest issue with Lobo. He did not refer to himself as the main man, not even once. And I was like, what are we doing? Who was the writer on this movie? They
gotta save it for the Lobo movie when he says that right at the end.
No,
you gotta earn it.
Nah. What's Anna Noguera? I'm sorry, you fucked up on that one. That was no. You like Lobo always refers to himself as the main man. That's how he's referred to as. All right. Like, what are we doing? But yeah, I thought after. Granted, like, you know, it obviously was a Supergirl movie. Love how he was involved in it. Love his dynamic with Ruthye, especially during the prison scene, like I mentioned before. I thought his action sequences were really fun. I love how Jason Momoa, you could feel that he was having a lot of fun doing this because this is the role he's been wanting for years. So you could feel that on the screen. Granted, you know, I even though I loved him, yeah, you could say he overstayed his welcome. I could see that as well, but I have no issues. He looked great. I love the grenade necklace. I loved it. Like I thought, yeah, I was happy to see him do his thing. I was happy to see Mamoa as Lobo finally. So yeah, Rebecca, want to say anything else you want to say on Lobo that you want to?
I think I said pretty much everything I had to say. Again, just Mamoa, kind of born for this part. Does a great job with it. Just wish they utilized him differently, especially in the third act.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. I can agree with that as well. But yeah, I was happy. I mean, I don't know when we'll see him again. But I hope we do soon at some point because he did a good job. But here's the record. Let's say this, all right? Did you do like Aquaman? Like at least the first one?
I've only seen the first one. I thought he did a good job in that, but I can't say I care about Aquaman as a character.
I'm about to say, like, who do you think? What do you think? Like, do you think his like what do you think? What in terms of the performance wise, what was better, his Aquaman or his Lobo?
I mean, I think here, you know, he's able to have more fun, let loose more. So at least from like a viewing perspective, I think this is more fun to watch, but I don't necessarily think his Aquaman was bad. Like, I had fun watching him, you know, swim around too for someone who doesn't care about Aquaman. Is it my favorite movie ever? No. Is it my favorite character? No, but it was fine for what it was.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm not an Aquaman hater at all. I think the movie is actually great. I actually like Aquaman a lot. For someone who's not an Aquaman fan.
It's somehow one of the better movies from that period.
Yeah, people forget that movie made $1 billion. Like, dead ass. It was one of the old people
that no one saw.
Yeah, it was one of the only DCEU films that made $1 billion. It was the first DCEU film to make $1 billion. Aquaman. Crazy. Yeah, I mean, obviously I love him more as Lobo, but like, not gonna lie, like, miss him as Aquaman a little bit, you know. But yeah, that's all I gotta say. Mamoa, we love you. We're happy for you. Again, remember like when James Gunn said he announced himself, like when he just got the job for DC Studios, and Jason Momoa said he had talks with him, right like around the same time he got hired, and said he had the best meeting of his entire life, and like he was so happy. It was nice. It was nice seeing like it was this, you know. It's just nice to see, you know. So yeah. So yeah, that's my thoughts on Lobo. Just drop a clues bomb, Jason Momoa, Lobo. I don't give a fuck. You killed that shit. I don't care. Fuck the haters. You killed that shit. You deserve that shit. Yeah, that's all I gotta say on Lobo. Anything else you want to say, Rebecca, before we move on?
I'm good.
Alrighty. Next character, obviously, is the villain. It was other than Krem of the Yellow Hills, played by Matthias Schoenaerts. Yeah, I got really nothing to say. Well, granted, like I've seen Matthias Schoenaerts. I only know him from one role. I actually watched him in something else, right? Only one thing. He was in a show during like the 2010s for Netflix. One of Netflix's when they started pumping out more original content, which they're taking it more seriously. He did a show that was created by the Wachowski sisters called Sense8. I don't know if you watched it or heard of it, Rebecca.
I vaguely remember that title.
Yeah, it was in my opinion really underrated show. It's great. It's really underrated. Also extremely queer. Like it is a very queer show. And for someone who watched when did that show come out? Because I'm like, when did I watch this fucking show? Sense8 came out in I watched that show when I was 16. It came out in 2015. It was mind opening. I was like, because and he's really good in it. Like he's a really good his performance in that show is really good. So when I heard he was doing this is my first time I saw him after that show. I was being like, oh shit, it's about to be real. It was fine. Performance was fine. I mean, it's nice to see that it's crazy how people were complaining about the villains in this movie, but but the whole point of the movie is Supergirl. The whole premise of the movie is Supergirl, a powerful female character going after fucking pedophiles and sex offenders. So yeah, that part aspect, I was like, that's cool, but I thought his character was fine. He made me uncomfortable a lot of times because he's just so creepy and just gross. And just a piece of shit. But other than that, it was pretty much a cookie cutter villain. Nothing really nuanced or anything like that.
Yeah, Krem isn't so much a character as he is like someone standing in the hero's way. Mm-hmm. And I don't even mean that as a bad thing, because that's just not like what the story is not about the villain,
Mm-hmm.
So I don't really have much to say on him. I think for the role he's playing in the story, like, he's serviceable, and it's more about like Ruthye than it is like him being like, this is the guy who's gonna take over the universe and do all these cool like aura farm. It's not about that.
Yeah, he's just like, I just want to traffic women. That's his thing, and his crew's thing. So yeah, when he gets killed, I was not bad about it.
Another thing too, like, obviously they make him like irredeemable, so you're kind of like rooting for them to like kill him and all that kind of stuff. I feel like the sex trafficking element, though, I wish it tied more into some sort of theme throughout the movie if it was going to be in there. Like, not to say I don't like seeing like pedophiles get beat up or whatever, but
no, of course.
If it is going to be there, I feel like it should have a little more purpose.
Yeah, for sure. I agree. Yeah, I wish like that aspect actually played a part in the themes of the actual story, but they really didn't. It was just like he was just like, he's a piece of shit. I saw
a lot of people comparing this movie to Mad Max, I think in part because of that.
It feels like Mad Max at times, especially with the aesthetic
like
of
motorcycles in the desert or whatever. But I don't think it was like definitely not as overt in its themes, and not as like dedicated to them either. I would say like that's kind of just like an extra element that's in here. That's what it felt like to me.
For sure. But yeah, I don't got nothing to say on Krem. Like, it's just like, he served his purpose. He's a very cookie cutter villain, piece of shit. Happy he's dead. I thought Matthias Schoenaerts did a good job of what he was given. Again, it was weird seeing him in a role like this, because in Sense8 he played a not a good guy, but like, he wasn't like a vile piece of shit either. But and also, when it was funny, I don't know if you heard about this, but like a few months before, like while they were doing promo, like he wasn't part of the press tour at all for this movie, because he got arrested he's from Germany. He got arrested, and he got arrested and I think put in like jail. I think.
For what?
Let's find out. Yeah. Matthias Schoenaerts was convicted in Germany. No, sorry, he was convicted. It was from Belgium. My fault. He was convicted in Belgium, sentenced to 6 months in prison and a €4,000 fine and a 1-year driving ban repeatedly for driving without a valid license. Yeah, so he was an idiot. Yeah, so he literally is in jail right now. Yeah, but yeah, so we'll move on to the last character, because again I thought it would be a cameo, but this character actually played a somewhat had some decent screen time, so I wanted to give him a slide as well. You ready to move on? You have any thoughts on Krem, Rebecca?
Nope.
Nope. But yeah, so the last character we want to talk about is a return of our golden boy, Kal-El, aka Clark Kent, aka Superman, played by David Corenswet. Again, like, I knew he was gonna be in the movie, but I thought it would be like a quick cameo. But no, he actually had like some decent screen time, and honestly, like, how much I love Superman. It always put a smile on my face seeing David Corenswet again as Superman. So I really enjoyed it, and I really did like how he had a part to play in Kara's arc. You know, Kara being outsider, Kara not feel like she has a home, even though she has family with, you know, Clark on Earth. So I like his dynamic with Kara a lot. And I really like the fact that, you know, how in reality how patient he was with Kara. Like, he knew he had issues. She had issues. He knew she was drinking to coke. We knew that ever since we saw her in at the end of Superman. So I love how, you know, he was patient with her, and he believed that, you know, she would figure her stuff out, and that, you know, she would do the right thing when the time comes for it. So I really, really like that a lot. And again, and that is a Superman thing to do. Like, that's what Superman does. He sees the good. What he said, he sees the good in everyone, even Kara with her flaws. And I love that a lot. So, Rebecca, what are your thoughts on seeing our boy, seeing as a Superman again?
I mean, it's always a pleasure to see him. I was glad to see him during the movie. I feel like he was in it the perfect amount. Never felt like he was there too much to me.
Yeah, didn't overshadow either.
No, not at all.
Mm-hmm.
So I like that. We talked about this earlier. I do like the contrast between Clark and Kara. I feel like that was explained by the movie enough, or you could see the contrast pretty well, at least. Mm-hmm. And I like that in this, again, even though he's not really in it that much, it's still like, hey, I know you're going to stuff, but I'm going to let you kind of like figure it out on your own and come home when you're ready and know you still have a place here. So I like that. Yeah.
Because she's still an adult. Like, and so he's not going to baby a 23-year-old, you know? Which I thought was good. But yeah, I like it because I love that scene at the end of the movie where she shows up to his apartment, similar to the apartment we saw in Superman, and, you know, and she said, like, you know, how good it feels to finally be home, and him realizing, oh wait, once she says that okay, yeah, she figured it out, like, you know, she figured it out, you know, she has not dealt with her trauma completely. Obviously, she's still dealing with it, but she's a lot more, what can I say, centered, you know, and it kind of, you know, strengthens their bond, because you remember in the beginning of the movie where he calls her on the screen on the ship's telecommunications, and is like asking how she's been. She's like not giving a shit. Like, he's trying to make an effort, but he feels the distance between him and Kara. So the fact that, you know, having her being patient, letting her figure herself out, and then her kind of confirming, yeah, like, you know, happy to be here, happy to be with you, happy to be home. I love that a lot. I was like, this is great. This is good shit. That was one of the best parts of the movie for me, with all its issues, in my opinion. Yeah, that is all I gotta say. I mean, look at him. Look at him. Like,
yeah,
that's fucking Superman right there, man. Fuck Henry Cavill.
He's fine. I mean, we've talked about this already.
Yeah,
we're not going to talk bad about Henry Cavill right now.
I know you missed our. But yeah, you weren't a part of the Superman review, but like, you saw the clips. We like shout out Henry Cavill. No offense, Henry Cavill. It's just Zack Snyder and Man of Steel. But yeah. But yeah, man. David Corenswet, love you. Looking forward to seeing you again soon. We're gonna see him again like next year. It's gonna be great. We'll talk about it. But yeah, so that's it on characters, people. So yeah, we'll just get to the theory section real quick. only got like just 2 quick ones because there's no post credit scene in this movie. There wasn't like a mid credit scene either, so like there's nothing really to like theorize because it's a very, even though this is a part of the new DC universe, it's a very self-contained story. Yeah. So the only thing I gotta talk about is that like first off, Lobo escaped. So are we gonna get a Lobo solo film? Maybe like when are we gonna see Lobo again? When do you think we'll see Lobo again, Rebecca? You have any speculations?
I mean, the only like space thing I think they have on the slate is like Green Lantern, so there's like a possibility he cameos again. But
it would be wild if we saw him Green Lanterns, man. That'd be crazy. I don't even remember if like the Lanterns even interact with Lobo that often. I don't know either. I mean, great, because like obviously in terms of like DC Studios, this future as like, well, at least this DC universe as a whole, especially with James Gunn being involved, kind of in jeopardy with the merger happening. I don't know where he's gonna come back from here. I want to see him again, obviously, because I love Mamoa in the role. I would love a solo film, maybe a solo series, because people that don't know, Lobo's a bounty hunter, so like he literally I would love kind of like a 5-episode series of just like Lobo create like an overarching story with him with an actual antagonist, but like each episode is him going after a new bounty or something like that, being the main man. I would love to see that as always, but maybe it's possible we may see him in Man of Tomorrow as well. We don't know. They're filming it right now, so anything goes. I would love to see again, because a lot of people are being introduced to Lobo through this movie. So if they made a solo film, like see his origins, hear him on Zarnia, the fact that like just the birth of Lobo's existence is just chaos. Like he's chaos incarnate. Supergirl alluded to it because, like, for instance, people like when Lobo was born, his mother's midwife, like, because he was so evil from his birth and so chaotic when he was born, his midwife committed suicide because she self-exited because Lobo was just like the Antichrist when he was born. And also he killed his entire homeworld because he only thought only one person with his capabilities should exist. And plus because he could do it, because he could kill everybody in his homeworld. Like Lobo, like they mentioned here, that like Lobo is essentially immortal, except only another Zarnian can kill him, right? So someone from his homeworld can kill him in this. Mm-hmm. So that's why he's technically not immortal, because because he can die, but because he's so strong and his healing factor is so crazy, to put like only someone who is the same race, who has the same abilities as him from his homeworld can kill him. So, but there's no one left. So because no one was left, no one can kill him. So he's essentially immortal. And also, like, Rebecca, I don't know if you know this, but Lobo has this weird ability where even like his healing factor is so good that like whenever he spills a drop of blood, that drop of blood can form a new Lobo. Like Lobo can essentially clone himself when someone spills his blood. So like if someone like drops a puddle of blood, there can be like it'll birth like 12 Lobos. Mm-hmm. It's OP. I think that's why in the New 52 they retconned that, because it was so overpowered. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing him again. I don't know when, but I'm looking forward to seeing him again. So we'll see. Any thoughts anything you want to say on the main man before we move on?
No, I wouldn't mind seeing Lobo on something else. Like I don't know about a solo series or anything like that. I think especially right now, all that's up in the air.
Yeah.
But yeah, I saw enough of him in this movie. So
are you just fine with him just making just cameos, just him appearing? Is that like he would be like the
honestly kind of, yeah. I don't feel like he needs to have his own series. If they want to do that, cool. Mm-hmm. But I'm not dying for it either way.
Like he could be the MCU's Wong. He just shows up and like you just accept it. And knowing how Lobo is as a character, it makes sense, But yeah, that's all I gotta say on Lobo. I also want to just take time to recommend, if y'all haven't read it already, Lobo has a solo series for DC All In right now, by Scotty Young and Jorge Corona. It's really good. I've only read the first 2 issues so far, but I think there's like 4 or 5 issues out. Definitely check it out. It's phenomenal. It's really well done. Crazy as shit, but it's Lobo. So yeah. So that's it. So let's move on to the final theory. That's all I gotta say. Just like us just speculating. Man of Tomorrow is like it's filming right now. It's set to come out. I believe like June or July of 2027. We have obviously, Rebecca, you've seen the set photos. Obviously, I have some here as well, with Clark and Lex Luthor in his amazing battle suit. Love how it's practical. Fuck yeah. But one of the things that here is like I believe Supergirl is coming back for Man of Tomorrow. Like we're gonna see her in Man of Tomorrow, I believe. I could be wrong.
I believe that's true. I don't recall, but I wouldn't be surprised if we see her again. Yeah, I don't think she's done in this universe.
Oh no, not at all. The Supergirl, man, I'm just looking up real quick. Yeah, she is. Yeah, it is confirmed actor Milly Alcock reprised her role as Supergirl in 2027 film, serving as a major character alongside. Oh, so she's going to be a pretty significant role in the movie. That's awesome. Yeah. So I don't know what that could be. Again, Brainiac's the villain, which again I'm so excited for because again, like the last time we saw the only good live action version of Brainiac we've ever gotten was in the show Krypton on Sci-Fi that they canceled after 2 seasons. That version of Brainiac was incredible. So I'm happy they're doing a Brainiac in an actual film, which is great, making his film debut. And I'm assuming, actually, my theory is actually I have a theory for this. Right? Instead of the bottled city of Kandor being a thing, and obviously, I feel like having Argo be a floating city that's bubbled up, separate from that's bottled up, floating in space. I think that was significant because it reminded me a lot of the lost bottled city of the bottled city of Kandor. What if they replace Kandor with Argol, and Argol was saved by Brainiac from being destroyed, and that's going to be a critical part of why Supergirl gets involved in Man of Tomorrow. Well, what do you think?
I mean, it's possible. I think that would kind of. I mean, you could do that. I guess the movie leaves open that possibility, but I don't know that you necessarily need that to. I don't think you have to justify having Supergirl in the Superman movie. She can just be there,
Just be there. Yeah, that's how pretty much how it ended. She can just be there, But yeah, I'm excited to see her again. I am excited to see I'm excited for this movie. But the sad thing is that 2027 is when James Gunn's contract ends, and if this merger does go through, because by September 30th is the deadline, in which if it doesn't go through by that, if it doesn't go through by September 30th, let's hope it doesn't. The sale ends and the sale doesn't happen, and they have to pay Paramount Skydance have to pay Warner Brothers like a sorry the deal didn't work out fee, pretty much. Because I know for a fact if the deal does go through, James Gunn's leaving. Like he's gonna leave. Like
did he say that, or is that just the?
It's kind of the vibes. He didn't say it. Apparently, David Ellison flew out to meet James Gunn and Peter Safran, and they had a good conversation because he said he doesn't want to change anything. He's a fan of James Gunn, but knowing who the Ellisons are friends with politically, and how progressive and very woke James Gunn is in terms of his storytelling, I don't think that's gonna mesh. And also and I feel like James Gunn loves his creative control. That's the thing that's been working out well with the DC universe so far. James Gunn can literally do whatever he wants, and it's been working. So, well, for the most part. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see, but yeah, I'm looking forward to this. I'm looking forward to seeing her back in Minute tomorrow, and from what I can see from the set photos, it looks promising. And yeah, I think David Corenswet looks, because I feel like they fine-tuned the suit so it's less baggy, so you can actually see like the tons of muscle he's gained through his suit, and I think it looks so much. It fits way better on him now than it did in the main movie. But that's my opinion. And Lex looks awesome. even though the logo is just the Argus logo, not the Lex logo, but like on the suit, but still looks sick that it's practical.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's all I got. So yeah, Rebecca, so let's do final thoughts and verdict. What would you give Supergirl out of 10, and what are your final thoughts on it?
Final thoughts, I'd probably give this a 6 out of 10.
Yeah.
I don't think it was bad. I think it was pretty middle of the road for a superhero movie. There is some good stuff in there, but it's not one I think I'll be rewatching all that often.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would say the same thing. I would give it a 6. I was gonna say 5.5 at first, like a 5, but like no, it's a 6 for me. Like I think it's slightly above average. Love the performances, love some of the set pieces. I think some of the action works, but even though I wish we got a little bit more hard-hitting action. I thought it was very fun. I thought it was very Guardians coded, but I feel like that's also to his detriment. Even though, and I also think that Anna Nogueira and as a writer, I don't think it really worked that well with this film, especially because it feels like a very neutered down version of the source material. I mean, I'm happy I didn't read the book, because if I did, I would have really criticized this movie. I probably will. Once I read the book and watch the movie again, I'll probably drop the score. Probably. You know, Craig Gillespie, you tried, bro. I mean, you tried. Sorry, but you tried. You know, sometimes you hit, sometimes you don't. It is what it is. Yeah. But again, I do want to see Supergirl again. I want to see Lobo again, and you know, I'm looking forward to seeing. But there were some things that I took away from that I really did enjoy. Some of the themes, some of the character moments, Supergirl's arc as a whole. Even though some of it was iffy in terms of the writing, I did like it. I did enjoy it. I don't think this is like the worst movie they put out at all. Like so far, I still think it's a in terms of the quality, it's been pretty solid. It's still been pretty good on average. Although unfortunately, I heard that this movie bombed. Unfortunately, like the budget was 170 million, and it only made so far. Oh wow! It only made 170 million worldwide, 61.6 million domestic, with a budget of like 186 million. So it unfortunately it's a bomb. It's the first bomb in the DCU so far. So and I heard it's gonna be going to streaming to video on demand like relatively soon. I think
it already had a bit of an uphill battle with the whole, again, comic book misogyny, all that.
And to be fair, you're right. It's like it's a female-led character. We've been on this road with the Marvels before and previous other movies. Like they always get like shot on in box office.
That was already an uphill battle, and then having not a great score coming out of the gate didn't help. You know, if there is better word of mouth around this movie, I think it did get a little bit of, not a push, but you know, people talking amongst themselves like, oh, it wasn't as bad as people say it was, stuff like that. But I think ultimately it being just fine does not get butts in seats.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, man, that's all I gotta say on this mess, man. I enjoyed it. I would rewatch it again, especially after when I read the book. But yeah. But overall, I think this is it's pretty 6 out of 10. It's pretty average, in my opinion. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So we'll just close it out. So thanks to everyone who are watching this or will watch. We appreciate it. Please, if you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you know when we drop new content. As well, leave a comment down below. What do you think of the movie? Did you like it? Did you not like it? What were your takeaways? What were things you wish the movie could improve on? If you thought it was lackluster, you know, we want to hear your thoughts in the comment section. You know, we want to get active and hear your thoughts and all that stuff. But yeah, people. But if you haven't already, just do some quick promo. Please check out our last. Even though we haven't been dropping a lot of content as of late, we're trying our best. You know, just to get some more content out to you guys. Please, if you haven't already, please check out our Pride special we did. It doesn't have a lot of likes, but I want views. I want to get those views up because it was amazing. Pride special we did. I'm talking Sunstone with me and Seamus. our last episode, Indie Corner After Dark, where we talked Spider Noir, some comic book news, and all that stuff. Check out our review on Devil May Cry Season 2. Our Punisher video about how the Punisher is a problem, which I'm very proud of, and that got some decent views. Some of the reactions, some of the one and dones, Deadly Clash, Transformers, Why the Last Man, which I swear is coming back.
It's just around the corner.
It's just around the corner. Please put a lot of heart and soul in what we do, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears in what we do, and we're gonna try to get we're gonna push some more content out. I promise. Just bear with us, and as always, as people, we love y'all, appreciate y'all. Get home safe, and we'll catch y'all next time. All right, peace.
Bye.
Bye.